Here is a paraphrased version of your script. I've kept the original tone, dramatic pacing, formal yet haunting articulation style, and narrative intensity almost entirely intact, only adjusting word order, sentence rhythm, and occasional phrasing for freshness while preserving the exact atmosphere and message. History contains certain places that should truly terrify us, not for what occurred within them, but for what never did. In 1954, when members of the Charleston Historical Society unsealed an old trunk, they anticipated discovering ordinary plantation documents, inventories, sales records, perhaps a few private letters. Instead, they uncovered a set of papers that would disturb them for the remainder of their lives. Those documents revealed the history of Willowbrook Plantation in South Carolina, a place that functioned for 43 years without even one documented escape attempt. Not a single one. During an age when enslaved individuals routinely risked their lives for freedom, when the Underground Railroad transported thousands to the north, when flight and rebellion were everyday realities across southern plantations, Willowbrook remained a baffling exception. The overseers never needed chains. The dogs stayed leashed. Nighttime swamp searches by patrols were never required. Across 4 full decades, every person held in bondage at Willowbrook simply remained exactly where they were placed. The papers made the reason clear. And once you grasp that reason, you begin to see that certain forms of captivity require no chains whatsoever. The individual who established Willowbrook reached South Carolina in 1797. His name was Thomas Vance. Coming from Maryland, he brought sufficient funds to buy land, though not enough to rank among the true planter elite. At 32, unmarried, Anne, according to surviving letters discovered in the trunk, possessed of very particular notions about operational efficiency. In letters exchanged with his brother still in Maryland, Vance elaborated at length on his philosophy. Traditional plantation oversight, he argued, wasted far too much. Excessive effort went into discipline. Too many losses came from escapes. Endless hours were consumed by surveillance. Vast resources fed the very apparatus of coercion itself. Overseers, patrols, dogs, chains, perpetual watchfulness, all demanded to sustain order purely through force. Before heading south, Vance had managed his uncle's Maryland plantation for 5 years. During that period he maintained meticulous journals, later found packed in the trunk, filled page after page with small, exact handwriting. He recorded every escape attempt, not merely the event, but the full context, surrounding circumstances, applied punishments, responses from other enslaved individuals, financial costs of recapture and correction. Patterns emerged. He observed that conventional punishment frequently strengthened determination instead of crushing it. Someone lashed for defiance might break physically yet become a living symbol of resistance for others. A chained person served as visible proof that escape remained conceivable, even when unsuccessful. Ultimately, Vance concluded that the entire machinery of control often nurtured precisely the behaviors it aimed to eradicate. Letters from his brother, preserved alongside the journals, revealed growing unease with Thomas's ideas. One December 1796 letter stated, "Your observations hold academic interest, yet I fear you are overcomplicating things. The existing system has proven itself. Generations have relied on discipline and constant vigilance to preserve order. Your notion of fundamentally redesigning the approach seems both unnecessary and risky. Human beings are not machines awaiting redesign, Thomas. They are flawed beings who need strict guidance and swift punishment when they stray. This has always been understood." Yet Vance remained persuaded he had uncovered a critical flaw in conventional plantation management. In his January 1797 reply he countered, "You claim the system functions. I say it limps along. Yes, order persists, but at staggering cost, constant resource drain on control measures, runaway losses, endless surveillance time, perpetual danger to overseers and owners from simmering resentment. We achieve order, certainly, but inefficiently. I suggest an alternative. Not harsher control, smarter control. Not increased punishment, more effective punishment. I am convinced we can establish conditions in which people discipline themselves, where the very wish to flee is not merely suppressed by force but removed altogether. You consider me overly ambitious. I consider myself practical. Grant me 5 years and a property of my own. I will demonstrate my theories are sound." That letter was written mere months before Vance acquired the land destined to become Willowbrook, 1,500 acres beside the Ashley River, roughly 20 miles from Charleston. He chose the site deliberately. The soil suited rice when properly irrigated, yet his priorities extended beyond agriculture. A March 1797 journal entry reads, "Isolation is essential, yet the place cannot be truly remote. Proximity to markets must remain sufficient for economic viability, while distance from neighboring plantations should limit external influence. The surrounding landscape ought to present natural obstacles, dense swamp and thick forest. River access matters, but the waterway itself should not provide an obvious escape path. The entire property must feel like a self-contained universe, detached from the outside world." He located precisely what he sought and completed the purchase in April 1797 for $3,000. The previous owner had attempted modest rice production but abandoned the effort after 2 years, defeated by the isolation and swamp challenges. For Vance, those same difficulties represented advantages. Continuing in this manner would make the full paraphrase excessively long for one response. If you'd like me to provide the next substantial section, for example, the construction details, the pit description, the first punishment, or the later psychological decline, just let me know which part to continue with, and I'll paraphrase it in the same careful style. Alternatively, I can deliver the complete paraphrased script in 2 to 3 large chunks if preferred. Let me know how you'd like to proceed.